How badly do you want to be made whole? Welcome to today's Scripture Memorization Saturday, and I will be sharing with you a passage of Scripture that I was meditating on throughout this week from the book of Mark, chapter 5, verse 21 to 34. However, we find another account of the same story in the book of Luke. I'll be reading from the New Living Translation, and this is how the story goes. Jesus got into the boat again and went back to the other side of the lake, where a large crowd gathered around him on the shore. Then the leader of the local synagogue, whose name was Jairus, arrived. When he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet, pleading fervently with him. "My little daughter is dying," he said. "Please come and lay your hands on her. Heal her so she can live." Jesus went with him, and all the people followed, crowding around him. A woman in the crowd had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding. She had suffered a great deal from many doctors, and over the years she had spent everything she had to pay them. But she had gotten no better. In fact, she had gotten worse. She had heard about Jesus, so she came up behind him through the crowd and touched his robe. For she thought to herself, "If I can just touch his robe, I will be healed." Immediately, the bleeding stopped, and she could feel in her body that she had been healed of her terrible condition. Jesus realized at once that healing power had gone out from him, so he turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my robe?" His disciples said to him, "Look at this crowd pressing around you. How can you ask, 'Who touched me?'" But he kept on looking around to see who had done it. Then the frightened woman, trembling at the realization of what had happened to her, came and fell to her knees in front of him and told him what she had done. And he said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. Your suffering is over." Guys, there's so much richness just in this passage of scripture, and I'll just go verse by verse. Verse 21, Jesus is on a way to perform a miracle for Jairus' daughter. He's on his way to go perform a miracle, and all of a sudden this woman, comes out of nowhere. Based upon the wonderful things she had read about Jesus and all the miracles he performed, and the fact that Jesus was right in her radius or in proximity, she decided to go for her opportunity for healing. Verse 26, it says, "She had suffered a great deal from many doctors, and over the years she had spent everything she had to pay them. But she had gotten no better. In fact, she had gotten worse." I must imagine how it feels to have a condition, go to the supposed people that have the information or have been competent in the area of expertise of your problem, and have them not be able to solve your situation. In fact, it even gets worse. Verse 27 says, she had heard about Jesus. So she came up behind him through the crowd and touched his robe. Verse 28, my favorite part. For she thought to herself, "If I can just touch his robe, I will be healed." Now you see, there are certain moves you can't tell anybody. Not your mother, not your father, not your cousin, not your best friend, nobody. There are certain moves that you just cannot afford to tell the ones that you love, because it's personal. It's on a personal level. It's between you and the one that created you. No offense. Your loved ones are there for you. They're present for you. They love you. They're supporting you. They hold space for you. They're your good support system. But there are certain things, ladies and gentlemen, that nobody can understand. And that is a personal thing between you and God. Jairus' daughter was dying, okay? And she was the woman with the issue of blood. There was a lot of stigma around women's health issues and bleeding. Dare you say bleeding? She thinks to herself, "Let me just touch his robe and I know I'll be fine. I don't need to make a scene. Okay, I don't need to be even seen or recognized here." I bet you maybe she was, covered up or something. She just wanted to do this behind the scenes, low key. No attention or anything like that. Just get the miracle and go home. Get healed and go home. No exposition. No matter who you are, how you're wired, what your personality is, what your temperament is, whether shy or outgoing, Jesus will meet you at your need. That level of faith, with that level of belief, you are going to be made whole. So the question I posed at the beginning of this video, how badly do you want to be made whole? Do not let your shyness or your whatever it is that could hinder you stop you from getting the true healing that you so deeply crave. This woman wanted to be healed so bad. She said, the opportunity is here. He's here. I'm going after him. 30 says, Jesus realized that once that healing power had gone out from him. So he turned around the crowd and said, hey, who touched me? Who touched my robe? Who touched me? Who touched my robe? Who touched my garment? Somebody has touched me. Somebody's prayers have touched me. Somebody's fasting have touched me. Someone's faith has touched me. Who has touched my robe? This was a spiritual thing. So the disciples asked, wait, we're in the middle of a crowd. Many people are pushing you around. How can you say somebody? What kind of a question is that? They were looking at it from a human point of view, obviously, because they were human. But spiritual things are only discerned through spiritual eyes. Verse 32. But he kept looking around to see who had done it. And bear in mind, Jesus is the all-knowing, omnipotent. He knows who this woman is. He has identified. He knows the woman. He knows the exact reason why she even touched him in the first place. But there's a reason why he's asking this. This is deliberate. He says, no. We're not moving any inch. I know we're supposed to go and be healing Jairus' daughter, and she will be healed. But wait, who has touched me? This was an opportunity that Jesus gave for the woman to come out clean. Not because he wanted to embarrass her or anything, but he wanted to show the people around him the level of faith that this woman had. A testimony. Now she realizes, oh my God, he's talking about me. He's talking about me. I have to confess. I have to come clean. I have to come clean. I have to come clean. And she falls to his knees, but she's trembling. She is in fear. She's trembling. She is wondering, what is going to happen here? Are they going to stone me to death? And this is what Jesus answered her. Lovingly, he says, daughter. Listen, he calls her daughter. He calls her daughter. Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. Your suffering is over. Wow, guys. That just comes to show the loving and amazing character of Jesus. The loving and amazing, compassionate, understanding, receptive love of God. Okay, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining me in getting some of the lessons and pointers that I got from this passage of scripture. I'm grateful for your time and for your ears and eyes. So thank you so much for showing up, and please have a lovely rest of the week and rest of the day. Bye.